Hello everyone at Janis's team. My name is Damon Varial and I am going to introduce to you a marketing system that I have created a flowchart for, but I'm still afraid that it might look more complex. It is complex, that's the truth, but it might look more complex than it actually is, so I'm going to walk it through you real quickly. We start with cold traffic, which could be either from whatever you have running right now for SEO, local SEO in every city, or you might run pay-per-click ads. I know Janis is against that, but it doesn't really matter where your traffic comes from. You want to direct the traffic at first, not to the home page, but to a piece of pillar content, which is usually a long list type piece of content that gives the reasons for using Janis and specifically states why Janis is different from all the other matchmakers out there. So you want to send them to content first, not to a sales page first. This shows them that you're providing free information, you're being useful up front, and you're not just trying to sell them something. Now, of course, at the end of that post, or even at a pop-up when they try to leave the page, you can give them a reason to leave you their information. So that's a lead capture. Now, a lead capture is usually offering something in exchange for that information. If you want their email address, you might offer them a free guide sent to their email. If you want their phone number, you might offer them a free consultation. The offer doesn't really matter. It just needs to be short. It needs to seem like it's something of value. Usually a video that is behind some sort of barrier works well. But it should be short, like a 5-minute video that just talks about one aspect. It could even be a video of testimonials of successful executives who have found their match through your service. The point is you want to offer them something for free again, but now you're doing it for some information in exchange. If that happens, users have two choices. They can either not opt in or opt in. Let's talk about what happens if they don't opt in first. Let's say they don't leave any information. Instead, they just leave the site, go back to the business, go browse other websites, maybe compare your competitors. Maybe they go back to Facebook, talk to their friends. Well, here's what happens. We start a remarketing campaign where the users will actually see ads for Janis's service on those other websites and even in their Facebook feed and on Facebook, the right-hand side of the Facebook actual main page when you log into your Facebook. Now, we're only doing this for the people who didn't opt in. The people who did exchange information, we don't want to waste remarketing money on. Even though remarketing is very cheap, there's really no reason to drive that campaign toward people who have already given us information. So that's what happens here. If they don't opt in, we remarket to them. The conversion rate for remarketing is usually at least 2 times as high as cold traffic marketing. So people who have already seen this content and they've already seen the lead capture generation page, we have a double the chance of getting them into the lead generation than the people coming from cold traffic. So remarketing is really useful in this entire campaign, and you're going to see it a few more times down this flowchart. Now let's say that people opt in. The users opt in, and they start to receive, well, on the first day, they receive an email that requests that they whitelist Janis's email address so that they can receive the rest of the email series. But at the beginning, they get that free information. Okay, so that's the first email. The automated email series will usually have about 5 emails, and the first one is simply information, whatever they signed up for. The final 3 to 4 are a series of sales letters that are talking about why they should opt in to the Tripwire. I call it a Tripwire, but it's the next offer, the very basic offer that I suggest you add to Janis's business model, which is a webinar. So we're going to have 3 emails sent to them talking about there's a webinar coming up. Here's what you're going to learn in the webinar. We're basically pumping up the webinar so that on the final email, we send them to this landing page to opt in for that webinar. So we're going to have them first pay us a very small fee to get them to trust us with their money. People are much more likely to buy a higher ticket item once they've bought a low cost item and realize that you're for real. They can hand over their money, they're not getting ripped off. Now you have earned their trust. That's what we want to do here. That's why we're charging for the webinar, not offering it for free. We've already offered them a really small piece of information for free in the lead capture, but now we want to see if they're real customers. Because if they're not real customers, if they're not really willing to spend money, we don't want them. We don't want to spend money remarketing to them. So this is what happens. We're going to get them into this webinar, and if they don't opt in, we're going to remarket to that webinar, but we're not going to remarket to anything else. If they don't want to pay for the webinar, we're not going to get them into the membership portion of the site. That's just common sense. Now, again, remarketing is going to increase the conversions. The people who are sent here at first, maybe we get a 20% conversion rate, but the people who are remarketed to, we might get a 40% conversion rate. Okay, so overall, we're going to get people into this webinar. They're going to opt into the webinar. When they opt into the webinar, they're not going to get the webinar immediately. It's going to be scheduled, and we can make this an evergreen launch so that it always occurs like this. The webinar will be scheduled 3 days after they opt in, after they register. So if they register on Friday, they're going to get the webinar on Tuesday, because the next 3 days are going to be emails with small pre-webinars. They might be 5-minute webinars that pump up the authority and the value of the core offer which the webinar is going to be pitching. And that core offer is simply the membership service for Janis' site. Now, these pre-webinars are going to be having testimonials. They're going to be pointing out what you get with the membership. They're going to be pointing out why Janis is different. They're all free. They go to your email box, and they're just the tiny portions, like a bonus that the users didn't know about before they get the real webinar. Now, finally, on Tuesday, if they signed up on Friday, on Tuesday, they're going to get the real webinar. It's going to be longer. It might be 30 minutes. It might be an hour. But it's going to be a webinar that's almost like a commercial for Janis' service. And at the very end, you can think of it like an infomercial almost. But it's got to be informative as well. So it's not just buy. It's here's people who have found successful matches through us. Here's why we're different. All the same kind of stuff we've been doing the entire time, but we're going to push it harder. And at the end, we're going to have a pitch. That pitch is going to be for the membership service itself. So we're going to drive people from the webinar to the pitch. We've already done all the marketing. We've already convinced them that we're trustworthy by taking the $10 and giving them something of value. And we've given them a infomercial. They have essentially paid to watch an infomercial. So they're actually emotionally involved. They're financially invested. They're much more likely to sign up. We're increasing conversion rates greatly. And I would even suggest that you increase your price, because when I was talking last time to Alan, I believe his name is Alan. Am I mistaken? I hope I'm not mistaken. I was talking to Alan after I spoke with Janis, and he said that your membership is $25. I think you could actually raise that price, especially with your target demographic. So I would say raise the price. Then after the webinar, since you've pitched them, they're emotionally invested, they're financially invested. Now they're much more likely to buy. And if this whole system works, not only have you gotten an extra $10 from everybody who signs up, but you've also, if you've increased the price, maybe doubled your revenue. But not only that, we've increased conversion. So the people signing up are going to be more than in the past. In addition, if they don't sign up, we'll remarket to them. Just like in the other two situations, we'll bring them back to that membership registration page. Some people don't make decisions right away. They need to think about it. They need to see your brand more often. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be right in front of their face the entire time until they give up. Now, after they sign up as a member, we're going to put them into a new email list. And that email list is just like the one before. It's going to pump up another service. It's going to pump up the premium membership, which I believe Alan said was $200. So we're going to do that and send them to the premium membership registration form. I kind of cut some things out here. You can choose to or choose not to have another set of webinar series pumping up the premium membership. That's up to you. I would say do it if you have the resources to do it. It'll increase conversions. You can also again charge a fee for that webinar. So even the people who don't sign up for the premium membership have paid you extra up above paying the membership fee simply because they had to pay to watch the webinar. Okay, so let's say they don't sign up. Again, we're going to put them into a remarketing funnel. We're going to send them back to that page. But if they really don't sign up, we're going to do actually two things. We're going to remarket to them just like before, but we're also going to send them emails for the next 3 days that give them more reason to sign up. We're going to talk about the benefits of signing up. We're going to talk about the fears of not signing up. And then eventually, either they're not going to sign up and we will send them a payment plan, because the assumption would be if they're really not signing up, either they don't like the service or they think it's too expensive. If they don't like the service, well, we can't do anything about that. If they think it's too expensive, we can direct them to a payment plan. Instead of paying $200 up front, we can make them pay $50 for 4 months. So you're getting customers you wouldn't otherwise get by offering this payment plan. If they do sign up, well, great. You take all of their email addresses off of your email list. And if they signed up at the beginning, you do the same thing. You take them off your email list. You don't want to keep selling your services that they've already bought. So that's the entire system. I know it's a little complex, but this alone, just implementing the system, even without raising your price, though I recommend you do, just implementing the system should increase your revenue quite a bit. And I am willing to help you with this, which is why I put this together. So please consider it. And if you have any questions, you are welcome to email me. You could just actually ask Alan because he's in touch with me. And I believe that would be the best way. So that's it.